100% looks like the top, the most the VA will ever pay you. It isn't. There's a whole second pay scale that starts where the first one stops, and your rating decision won't tell you which part of it applies to you. This is Special Monthly Compensation, S.M.C. We'll cover what it is, the one level that pays at any rating from 0 to 100, the housebound level, the staircase above it, the actual top of the scale, and how you ask for it. This is the Veteran Field Manual. Plain English VA benefits, straight from the rules, with nothing to sell. Everything here's educational only. It isn't legal or medical advice, and the rules do change. If that's what you're after, subscribe so the next chapter finds you. VA runs 2 compensation scales. The first one you already know. It rates your level of disability from 0 to 100% and pays by percentage. The second one doesn't use percentages at all. It uses letters K, L, M, N, O, P, R, S, and T. Letters aren't a different way of saying the same thing. They're a separate statutory payment for specific severe losses. 100% for a veteran with no dependents pays $3,938.58 a month. Several of these letters pay more than that. Congress wrote this into law in Title 38, Section 1114. The percentage system answers one question: how disabled are you? Some losses are specific enough that a percentage can't describe them, so the law names them and prices them one by one. S.M.C doesn't replace your regular check. It gets paid on top of the basic compensation you already draw. Your 70% stays 70%. This lands above it. The first level we'll cover is S.M.C K, because it's the one that can reach you right now. K is the only level the VA adds at any rating from 0 to 100%. Every other level takes more than that. If you qualify for S.M.C K, the VA adds it to your basic disability compensation rate for any disability rating from 0% to 100%. You can be rated at 0 and still be owed this. The current rate is $139.87 a month, effective December 1st, 2025. That's for each qualifying loss. You can hold more than one. You can draw 1, 2, or 3 K awards at the same time, on top of your basic rate and any other S.M.C rate. 3 is the cap. Qualifying losses are named one by one: loss of a creative organ or loss of its use, 1 foot, 1 hand, both buttocks. The list keeps going. Blindness in 1 eye where all that's left is light perception, total deafness in both ears, where sound gets through neither by air nor through the bone, and complete organic aphonia, which means you physically can't speak. There's a further one for women veterans. Losing 25% or more of the tissue from one breast qualifies, or that much from both breasts counted together. That includes loss from a mastectomy or a partial mastectomy. Radiation treatment of breast tissue qualifies too. Creative organ is the one to read carefully, because the term doesn't mean what it sounds like. It means the reproductive organs. Losing one or both testicles or the ovaries counts, as long as it's a loss you suffered rather than something you were born with. Losing the use of one counts too, and a medical board measures that against set criteria. Loss of use is the phrase that carries this, and you don't need an amputation to meet it. The question is whether you'd be any worse off without the limb. Loss of use exists when so little working function is left that you do just as well with the limb amputated below the elbow or the knee and a prosthetic fitted. So the test isn't whether the limb is still attached, it's whether it still works. What gets measured is the function you actually have left. For a hand, gripping and handling things. For a foot, balance and pushing off when you walk. If a prosthetic would serve you just as well, that's loss of use. 3 examples make it concrete. A knee fused in a bad position, written on paper as extremely unfavorable, complete ankylosis. 2 major joints in the same arm or leg, both fused. or a leg shortened by 3.5 inches or more. Any one of those counts as loss of use of the hand or foot involved. K stacks on your basic rate and on most S.M.C levels, but not all of them. K is added to all S.M.C basic rates except S.M.C O, S.M.C Q, and S.M.C R. Now let's look at S.M.C S, the housebound level. S sits off to the side of the main staircase, and there are two separate ways to qualify for it. The first way is by rating. You've got one service-connected condition rated at 100% on its own, plus other service-connected conditions that come to 60% by themselves. Two more conditions ride on that 60%, and neither one shows up in the statute. The 60 has to be separate and distinct from the condition rated at 100. And it has to sit in a different part of the body or a different body system. It's a real test, and it's easy to read past. 100% for a mental health condition plus 60% for your back is two different systems. 100% for one condition plus 60% for something in the same system won't do it. The second way needs no 60% at all. If you're permanently housebound because of service-connected disabilities, that on its own qualifies you. Permanently housebound means you're substantially confined to your home and the ground right around it, or to your ward if you're living in a facility. Your service-connected conditions have to be what's keeping you there. And it has to be reasonably certain those conditions will stay with you for the rest of your life. The word used is substantially, not sealed in. Going out to a medical appointment doesn't undo it. S.M.C S pays $4,498.53 a month for a veteran with no dependents. Effective December 1st, 2025. That figure goes up if you've got a spouse, children, or dependent parents. Next comes the main staircase, and this is where most of the letters live. Above S sit L, M, N, and O, plus intermediate rates between them. Each step is a heavier combination of losses than the one below it. First step is S.M.C.L, and its list is the one to read closely. L pays for losing both feet, or losing the use of them, or one hand and one foot, or blindness in both eyes down to 5/200ths or worse. That means you have to be within 5 feet of something a person with normal sight could make out from 200 feet away. Or being permanently bedridden, or being so helpless that you need regular aid and attendance. Notice the shape of that list. The first 3 are losses: both feet, a hand, and a foot, your sight. The last 2 aren't losses at all. Being permanently bedridden and needing regular aid and attendance are about what your condition stops you from doing. That last one is the one to slow down on. 6 things get looked at: whether you can dress and undress yourself, whether you can keep yourself clean and presentable, whether you need frequent help adjusting a prosthetic or a brace you can't adjust on your own, whether you can feed yourself or whether weakness or poor coordination stops you, whether you can use the bathroom on your own, and whether a physical or mental condition leaves you needing someone around regularly to keep you safe from the everyday hazards at home. You don't need all 6. A favorable rating doesn't wait for the whole list to be true of you. One of them can be enough. The help doesn't have to be constant. What the evidence has to show is that you're helpless enough to need regular assistance, not that you need it every waking minute. Good days don't disqualify you. Bedridden has its own definition, and it's stricter than it sounds. Your condition itself has to be the thing that keeps you in bed. Choosing to stay in bed doesn't count. Neither does a doctor putting you on bed rest for a stretch to help you heal. Vision gets you here 2 different ways, and the second one is the one people miss. The first way is sharpness, that 5/200ths number. There's a catch on it. If your sharpness is any better than 5/200ths, it doesn't qualify, even when it gets evaluated at that level. The second way is how wide your field of view is. If your sight is closed down to a tunnel about 5 degrees across in both eyes, that counts the same as the sharpness number. Tunnel vision that's severe gets you there on its own. Named steps aren't the only places you can land. There are rates in between them. When your combination of losses carries you past one step, but not all the way to the next, you get paid halfway between the two rates, rounded to the nearest dollar. So the staircase has half steps and you can land on one. That brings us to S.M.C R, the top of the scale. R sits above the whole staircase and it has 2 levels. R isn't a level you reach on its own. You have to already be standing at the top of the staircase. That means you're entitled at the O rate, or at the highest rate under P, or at the half step between N and O, while also drawing K. Then, on top of being there, you have to need regular aid and attendance. That's R1, $9,826.88 a month for a veteran with no dependents. R2 sits above it, and it turns on a single finding. You need a higher level of care, and the finding has to be that without it, you'd have to be in a hospital, a nursing home, or another residential facility. $11,271.67 a month, veteran with no dependents, effective December 1st, 2025. Set that against the $3,938.58 100% pays the same veteran. It's about 2.9 times the rate people call the maximum. It's paid in place of the R1 allowance, not on top of it. The next letter is S.M.C T, and its wording is easy to get backwards. T is for traumatic brain injury, TBI. T isn't a level above R2. It's for you if you need regular aid and attendance because of what a traumatic brain injury left behind, and you don't qualify under R2. Without that help, you'd have to be in a hospital, a nursing home, or another residential facility. So T is the root-in for a brain injury veteran who needs that level of care but doesn't meet the R2 conditions. It pays the same rate as R2. The VA's own table prices them together as R2/T. The last letter is S.M.C Q, and it almost certainly doesn't apply to you. It's a protected rate, not awarded since August 19, 1968. It pays $67 a month in place of your basic rate. It's here so the letter doesn't throw you when you see it on the table. There's one rule running underneath this whole system, and it decides the close cases. Every step up has to rest on a separate and distinct disability. Here's the worked example. Say you've lost the use of 2 limbs, and you're being looked at for the maximum rate because you're helpless and need regular aid and attendance. That helplessness has to come from something other than those 2 limbs. A different medical problem has to be causing it. You can't count the same injury twice to climb a step. The loss gets you one level. Something else has to carry you to the next. Now, something that will save you from a bad number, and it's the reason to be careful with what you read online. Section 1114 puts S.M.C K at $96 a month. The VA pays $139.87. That printed figure isn't what lands in your account. And it isn't just K. That same statute prints $123 for a 10% rating. These are the base figures Congress wrote into the law, not the adjusted amounts the VA actually pays out. Those printed figures are base amounts. The payable rates get cost of living adjustments, and the VA publishes the current table every December. Take the rules from Title 38. Take the money from the rate page. Every dollar figure in this video comes from that page, effective December 1st, 2025. If you're watching this after the next December, the rules will be the same and the numbers will have moved. Go check the page. Your rating decision doesn't come with a line telling you which S.M.C levels you might qualify for. You have to raise it yourself. So run the checklist on yourself. Do you have loss or loss of use of a hand, a foot, an eye, or a creative organ? Do you need another person's help with dressing, bathing, eating, or staying safe at home? You have one condition at 100% and another at 60 in a different body system. Are you substantially confined to your home? If any one of those is a yes, you have something to ask about. One yes is enough to make the question worth asking. Then file it. There are 5 ways to do that, and 4 of them you handle yourself. Online, by mail, in person, or by fax. None of those 4 need a representative. We've got a full episode that walks the filing itself, start to finish. It's linked on screen and in the description. The 5th way is help, and there's more than one kind of it. An accredited Veteran Service Organization representative, a VSO, an accredited claims agent, or an accredited attorney. All 3 are accredited to work your claim, and mapping your specific losses onto the right letter is exactly that work. Know the cost going in. A VSO representative can't charge you anything. To be recognized at all, they have to certify that no fee or compensation of any nature will be charged for services on a claim. That's the condition of the accreditation. Agents and attorneys work on a different rule. They can't charge you for anything they do before the VA issues its first decision on the claim you're raising. And asking for S.M.C is a claim for an increase in your rate, so it gets a first decision of its own. That means getting the question asked costs you nothing. If you're already appealing an earlier claim, that's a different situation, and fees can already apply. This system has letters, sublevels, half steps, and a stacking rule. You don't have to master it, you have to raise it. Bring the evidence with you, records that show the loss of function, not just the diagnosis. If your claim is about needing help, statements describing what you can't do on your own carry real weight, because that's the finding being made. That's the whole second scale. K reaches you at any rating from 0 to 100, once for each qualifying loss. S is the housebound level, and there are 2 ways to reach it. 100% condition plus a separate 60, or being permanently housebound. L through O is the staircase, where needing another person's help counts as heavily as losing a limb. R and T sit at the top, for the veteran who can't get through the day alone. Take the rules from Title 38, take the dollars from the rate page, and raise it yourself, because your rating decision won't raise it for you. 100% is the top of the percentage scale. It isn't the top of the pay scale. One more thing. Thank you for your service and for sitting through the letters and the half steps to get here. If this helped, pass it to a veteran who needs it, the one who's been told they're already at the maximum, the one rated at 30% who's never heard of S.M.C K, the one caring for a spouse who can't dress or bathe without help. Hit like on the way out, so more veterans see this. And if you're rated at one of these levels, or you asked for S.M.C and got turned down, put it in the comments. Another veteran is probably searching that same question tonight, so asking it helps them find this too. We've got a full episode on what 100% permanent and total actually unlocks, and one on the rate tables. Subscribe so you get the next chapter. This is the Veteran Field Manual. Take care of yourself out there.